Well, that's all the classroom sessions finished for this morning. Now we're actually going out to do some practical work. So I'm going to catch up with Mike and just see what this session's all about.
Well, the first of the scenarios we're setting up this afternoon is a rider that's down, not being able to get out of the way himself, and so what we're going to do is to put him onto a scoop stretcher. We've bailed the rider up to protect him and then sent for a vehicle to remove him from harm's way. Right. At the British Superbike rounds, which may be 20 lap races, we wouldn't normally stop a race for this unless it's life-threatening injury. What we'd actually do is to bail them up, put them on a scoop stretcher, take them into a vehicle, and then take them out to the medical centre where they can be dealt with more effectively.
But it's not just injured riders who need to be removed from the racetrack. A crash bike can also be a hazard to other racers, and for the purpose of this training exercise, this old Suzuki has had its petrol tank filled with concrete so that it better represents the weight of a racing superbike. What a clever idea. Well, Mike, it's certainly a pretty day, and I'm glad to have this little break to sort of grab you for a few minutes to ask you more about the race-safe setup and what it's all about. But first, can I ask, just how do you happen to become a marshal? How does it all start?
Well, I think for most people, they've got obviously an interest in either bikes or bike racing. And for many people, they want to become racers. Racing now is a prohibitively expensive activity, and a superb way of getting involved in the sport is to become a marshal.
Yeah, it's about as close as you can get, isn't it, really?
Very close indeed. And
yeah.
Of course, you can marshal at the very top level, whereas for most riders, club meetings will be the highest they'll reach.
But it's a real commitment that they've got to make, isn't it? And so what sort of attributes does someone need? I mean, there's no specific qualifications, is there?
No, all we need is, all we ask for is keenness. We want them to be keen, to be dedicated, and to work as part of a team. That's probably the most important aspect of it.
Now, I saw some guys with licences, so even though they're volunteers, do they have to pass an exam, or do you just have to be registered? Or?
No, they have to be registered, and they have to attend one of our training days every 2 years. And that training day will obviously bring them up to date on the latest events, as obviously you've seen today, the latest regulation changes and so on.
So who's actually licensing them? I mean, is it the ACU or someone? Or
the ACU have their licensing scheme. We run one that runs in parallel to them and have our own, and so signatures are valid from either organisation.
Yeah, okay. And so if someone actually wanted to become a marshal, what do they do? If I was interested in doing it, what would I have to do?
I think it depends really what sort of marshalling you want to do, whether you want to do your local circuit or whether you want to travel around doing perhaps the British Superbike meetings. If you want to do your local circuit, contact your local bike racing club. There are plenty of those around the country, and they're always welcome volunteers. If you want to contact RaceSafe, contact RaceSafe.
And it's RaceSafe for the Nationals, British Superbike?
British Superbike and World Championship events, yes, including the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But the ACU have their own scheme, and they, I'm sure, would put you in touch with a local club if you didn't know who to get in touch with.
Well, that's it. That's how to be a race-safe marshal. In fact, it's a good guide on how to be a marshal at all on bike racing, but don't you be fooled. It's not an easy way of getting to see your favourite stars cracking around a circuit like this one. There's a lot of work to it. But if you're interested, you know what to do. Contact your local bike club, contact the ACU. So if you want to put something back into biking, now you know how to do it.